Now on UK Health Radio, treat yourself to an upgrade. Pack away your low self-esteem. Leave behind that empty feeling. Stow your fears and doubts in the overhead locker. And go from stress to authentic success with Danielle Sachs.
Hello to you, special you. Welcome to another show. And I am so proud of you that you are actually every week investing in yourself, investing your time and your energy in going from stress to authentic success, in listening to this amazing platform, UK Health Radio. So you are taking responsibility for your health, for a better life, to be a better version of yourself, etc. Don't we all, you and I, want to have a better life, be more, do more, have more? And I want to discuss this week why it is sometimes so difficult to achieve that. Because we all know that we need self-discipline and consistency to have long-term results, to change our habits, our bad habits, to change our life. If you want to stop settling for a life of existence and go for a life of substance, then consistent self-discipline is the key. It is one of the basic elements or pillars of self-leadership. And today, I want to talk about self-discipline, being part of that self-leadership. Because whatever stress, doubt, fear, etc., that you are encountering in your life right now, it takes self-leadership, therefore self-discipline, to shift out of it and to move forward and experience true fulfillment. So we are going to talk today about self-discipline, and I'm just going to give you some examples in my daily life and in my practice where I feel that we all lack a sort of self-discipline. While it seems so easy to start eating healthy, to stop drinking alcohol, to overeat or exercise on a daily basis, it seems easy. It seems when people talk about it, it seems easy. When we set that goal in the beginning of January, it seems easy. But why is it then that 3 weeks later, we all forget about it? It's because we lose the goal inside and we lose the self-discipline to actually reach that goal. And it's not just about the eating healthy and the exercise daily. I see it in my practice every day, how people have difficulty, how it's a challenge to change the habit of saying yes to yourself instead of always helping, pleasing, and doing everything for others. To say no to others asks you to have self-discipline, to set boundaries, to save your energy. The same goes for starting to go to bed in time, to stop scrolling on social media and to make less screen time in your day, to stop comparing yourselves with others. So all these things, even to get just the simple act of getting rid of clutter in your cupboard, in your garage, or in your basement, all these things, why is it so difficult to do? Why is it so difficult to take that action and continue taking that action to get the results? Because let's face it, that lack of discipline and consistency results in short-term gratification. I agree, but long-term, it results in more stress, more anxiety, more self-doubt. It gives us a feeling of no control, of depletion. It often gives us a lot of physical symptoms that we ignore, of the feeling of powerlessness, no control. So I'm going to go in this show, I'm going to give you a full show on self-discipline, what it is, why it is so important, and probably also a few tips so you can start to develop it if you feel that you have a lack of self-discipline in your life. And honestly, I always know that I can improve my self-discipline. There are a few areas in my life that I have not enough self-discipline. What about you? Do you also have right now, can you name a few fields in your life, a few areas, even small areas in your life where you could use more self-discipline so that it would lead to more self-leadership, which leads to a better life, to a more fulfilling life, a more meaningful life. And that is the purpose, of course. So I'm going to talk about self-discipline the whole show, and it's going to be full of interesting facts, tips, strategies. We'll see. We'll see where we go. But I'm quite excited to do this with you. So I will have a little break and I'll come back to you just now. Today, it is all about self-discipline. We are talking a full show and I'm giving that focus on self-discipline because I know from experience as a grandmother, as having had a lot of challenges in my life, as having had to break bad habits and really go for a healing journey. And it all asked a lot of self-discipline of me. So I want to talk to you today about self-discipline because that is how I have changed a lot in my life, how I have healed myself from a very bad illness and how I am living my own authentic success. So I just want to be here with you today to actually motivate you and inspire you to develop more and more your self-discipline. But to do that, I need to explain to you first, what is self-discipline? What is self-discipline to you? Self-discipline to me is the power that I have to manage my own thoughts, emotions, and behavior in the face of any temptation to achieve a specific goal. If I want to lose weight, then the temptation of eating chocolate needs to be changed through self-discipline and motivate me to eat healthy and to eat, for example, a piece of fruit instead. So it's about self-control and determination. It can be on a personal level, like I say, sticking to a diet or an exercise plan. It can be on a social level, on am I going, to please others and go out with others instead of finishing my own goal in life, for example, writing a book, or professionally, do I continue this project or do I want to go and take a break with my colleagues or for lunch with a friend instead of doing the work that I need to do? It's all kind of related. So another definition you could say of self-discipline is that the self-discipline is actually an ability to keep you pushing yourself forward and taking action towards your desired outcomes. So it's a kind of determination to keep doing what you should be doing, no matter what the obstacles, the opportunities, the distractions that are on your journey. And I really like that one because it is all about determination. If you put in a goal, a worthy goal for you, it will be so much easier to have the self-discipline. And another thing you could say about self-discipline is that it is a sort of relentless commitment to keep showing up and doing the work. And that is what I have seen, for example, in my profession and through the years. To have that commitment, I wanted to inspire and motivate people and guide people from stress to authentic success. And I've had that commitment for years to keep showing up, doing the work, learning, studying, keep on relentlessly being the person who I wanted to be there for you and to help and inspire the world with my message. So it's all that kind of thing that we need, but it's also going into small little details. Like, it's about really being determined in little things in life so that the results are getting bigger and bigger. So self-discipline is, as I said in the intro, one of the key elements to self-leadership. And if you want to own your life, if you really want to take ownership of who you are, of your future, of your mistakes, problems, then you need to start that self-discipline that will get those problems solved, and discipline yourself to take the action towards this. So that, for me, is what self-discipline is all about. It's taking the little actions that are needed to go forward, to move forward to such big desired goal. Small or big, it actually doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just a little goal. For example, I need to, as I said in the intro, I need to clean my cupboards. Or it can be a huge goal, like I want to write a book. So all these things need self-discipline. And in the next part, I'm going to talk to you about why self-discipline is actually so important. And I really think that we need to understand that, why it is so important, so that we are more motivated and committed to that self-discipline, to really make it a practice in our life. Talk to you just now.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good. UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Thank you for listening in again, because today we are all talking about self-discipline. And when I'm asking you the question in your life, why is self-discipline so important to you? What is your answer? What is the importance of self-discipline in your life? What would it mean to you? What would it mean to you in different areas of your life? Well, in my life, I can say that the ability to resist temptation, that is for me a part of self-discipline, is a really important one. Because, for example, I had quite a stressful winter in different areas, professionally, personally. And for example, the resistance to go at night and drink a glass of alcohol to relax, for example, it becomes a habit, and one that can be really counterproductive to your health. And so at a certain moment this winter, I had to have the self-discipline to say no to a glass of wine and take something else in order to relax myself, to do a little meditation, to go for a little walk, all these things. So for me, self-discipline is important so that it helps me to resist temptation. Also, it helps me to get rid of, we call the bad habits, stop smoking, stop eating chocolate, like I said, drinking alcohol. It can help you in really get rid of those self-proclaimed bad habits that we all know that we need to stop to lead to a beneficial lifestyle change. And so that for me is also an importance of self-discipline. And do not underestimate that self-discipline is important because it helps you to avoid procrastination. We'll talk to this about procrastination a bit later on, but to procrastinate is leading to a loss of productivity, to chronic stress, to anxiety, and all of those things. Also, please do not forget that self-discipline is important, because if you want to achieve a big goal, you will always run into obstacles that you and I might not have foreseen. And so we will have to learn new skills and put ourselves in that modus of, for our brain, that we need to make the unfamiliar familiar. We need to make the unfamiliar and the uncomfortable familiar and comfortable. So we will have to take risks. We will have to ask for help, and we know we will experience setbacks and failure. So all that is very, very important, because it all gives us the tools to better manage stress and anxiety. And the last one on why it is so important to say, to develop that self-discipline. Well, to me, it is mainly because it plays a big role in achieving long-term success. You and I, we both know that when we practice self-discipline, it leads to a more fulfilling life. And we cannot ignore that practicing self-discipline makes us engage in self-love and self-care. And if there's one thing that is my basic message in everything I do and say, it's all about self-love and self-care in its complex form. When we love ourselves enough to make choices that benefit our mind, our body, and our soul, you and I, we are setting ourselves up for a life full of fulfillment and success. So you can look at it at the importance of self-discipline is there because it's a form of self-love, self-respect, and that, of course, it's such a basic ingredient that we all need. And to finish off the importance of self-discipline, I just want to say that it requires you to say no to the good in order to say yes to the great. I love that. It requires you to say no to the good in order to say yes to the great, and so be able to delay that kind of instant gratification, that immediate pleasure or comfort in favor of long-term success and fulfillment. Isn't that what we all strive for? It is the long-term, the deeper sense of fulfillment and meaningfulness and all these things in life that we strive for. And instant gratification can sometimes block that. So these are all the reasons why you and I, need to develop self-discipline much more in our lives than it is today. And I'm, for one, an example that I have worked on it so much, but there's still a journey to go, still a road to go. So I'll come back to you just now with a few things on why we lack self-discipline, and later on also how you and I, we can develop our self-discipline more, a few tips. So I trust that will help you in your journey from stress to authentic success. I'll talk to you just now after this break. Welcome back to a full show that is all about the art, the concept of self-discipline. You and I, we both know, and I think anyone in our family, in our environment, in our professional life, in our social life, anyone can use more understanding about the concept of self-discipline and also understand the cause of why we lack it. Because once we understand the causes of our lack of discipline better, probably we can use that understanding to motivate ourselves to actually practice self-discipline on a daily basis. And so let me ask you the question. Why is it in your life challenging to maintain self-discipline? Because recognizing and addressing the factors that are contributing to that lack of self-discipline will make you grow, will make you understand the root cause, and then that's when you can break free. I always talk about awareness is the first step. So I want you to think about a time when you struggled with self-discipline. Let me pause for a moment and think about a time when you, in your life, struggled with self-discipline. What do you think was holding you back? Were you overwhelmed by fear? Were you distracted? Maybe you didn't have the support around you that you needed. It is by reflection on these experiences that you will be gaining valuable insight, and that will empower you to make positive life changes. So there are several reasons why people struggle with self-discipline, and I'm going to name a few that I know make a huge difference in our lives. And the first one, of course, like I said in one of the previous parts, that procrastination is one of the biggest ones. Because think about the last time that you had a small or a big project or a task that you needed to complete, but maybe you were binge watching your favorite show or scrolling through social media instead. Whatever it was, to overcome procrastination, you need to break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps and set really deadlines for yourself. There's more reasons for the lack of discipline, and a big one that I see in my practice a lot is fear of failure. Have you ever wanted to start, for example, a new hobby or pursue a new career, so that gave you discomfort? It gave you a fear of failing, even to try it out. Remember that failure is a natural part of personal growth of our lives, and that every setback offers an opportunity to learn and grow. To embrace the mindset that it's better to try and fail than never actually to try at all. But I see the fear of failure so often. Isn't it amazing that we have more fear of failure than anything else? It is something in our mind, and it's almost a pattern that we are afraid to go for success just in case that we fail. And so the third one that I want to really talk about as a lack of self-discipline is distraction. We are living in a society of distraction. Imagine that you're trying to finish an important report for work or anything that is important that day, and suddenly your phone is buzzing with a few notifications, or you get 2 mails in your inbox, and you can't resist checking them. I have to admit that it has been one of my points of distraction in my business, is that if I leave my email on, my inbox on, and I'm busy, whether it's making an article, writing something important to me, a chapter of an ebook, or if I do a radio show, whatever it is, and I leave my email on, it is such a difficult task for me to resist that checking in. And I've learned to daily actually plan in moments to read my mails, like a time in the morning and a time in the afternoon and a time in the evening, so that in between I'm not distracted in my projects, in whatever I am doing, whether it's my clients, whether it's for you, the listener, the audience out there, whoever it is. I try to be focused as much as I can. And that means leaving out and really putting aside all distractions. So to stay on track as I say, it is useful to designate specific times for work, for leisure, for anything that can really prevent you to do what you need to do. So maybe put your phone on silence, maybe put out any internet thing like websites or anything that can distract you. And also, one of the distractions that I see a lot in my practice as well is that people start to compare themselves with others. They see a post or they watch TV or something that takes their attention away from themselves, from being true to who they are, from following their intuition. They start comparing themselves with others, what others are doing, what others are saying, and that distraction always creates insecurities within us. And the last one that I want to mention here is lack of support. Because if you do not have the support that you deserve to dedicate a new routine, like maybe you want to go for a fitness routine, maybe you are going to go for a walk every day, maybe you want to stop smoking, and whatever it is important to have friends, family, whoever in your environment that shares your enthusiasm. And sometimes it is even that bad that our friends and family discourage us from pursuing our goals. I've heard that often, and that is one of the reasons why clients keep on coming to me in their mastery programs, even if they've done the journey, just to have that accountability and that support, so that they surround themselves with at least one person like me, their mentor, their coach, their teacher, their therapist, who believes in them and who supports their goals. So feel free to reach out to me and ask for help if you need like a like-minded person or somebody who makes you accountable for moving forward and for really stopping that distraction, fear of failure, procrastination, and all these things that make you lack self-discipline. So I think it is worthwhile to put a lot of attention onto a few tips on how to develop that self-discipline. So what would you give as a tip to me if I would ask you, how can I develop my self-discipline? What would it be? What will you say? And for me, one of the things is that it all starts again with, as we said during the whole show, with awareness. It is about identifying your strengths and your weaknesses, because you have to get really clear on your own strengths, on what you don't need that much self-discipline for, and your own weaknesses, which often that's where you need to build up that self-discipline. So what comes easily for you, and where do you experience challenges? And that's all about self-awareness. So that is one thing. The second one that I would like to talk to you about is to find the motivation to keep going, because self-discipline gets you into a rhythm of showing up every single day to do the work that you need to do. But even when that practice becomes second nature, there will always be days when you question yourself, you question your goals, whether you are really capable or deserve it, your worthiness, etc. And when you experience that kind of moments of challenge and doubts, that's when you need to remember your purpose, why you are doing what you are doing, the why behind it. If you want a deeper intrinsic motivation, that probably will really help you develop self-discipline, you need to do that kind of why exercise. What is the reason? Why do I want that goal? And Dean Graziosi has an exercise where he goes 7 times deeper in the why. And I often do it with my clients, and it's really, really powerful. So go and find your why behind your goal, your intrinsic why, and that will keep you motivated. Another tip to really develop that self-discipline is to develop those little success habits, because mostly it's our old bad habits that get in the way of our self-discipline. And so what small new daily habits or mindset habits could you replace them with that would make really self-discipline quite a daily, easy practice for you? For example, if you want to start going earlier to bed at night because you know that your energy is really going down often and you need your sleep, but you are so used to watch TV and your favorite shows on TV, or you are busy listening to podcasts or watching YouTube little movies or whatever it is. Just remind yourself that maybe you can start with going to bed just half an hour earlier or even 15 minutes earlier. And then every week you go a little bit earlier, like another 15 minutes earlier. So maybe that kind of little win can actually make you develop these success habits, these little success habits. And it really works because it motivates you. You feel that you cultivate every single week a greater self-discipline if you do little acts like this. Of course, measuring is knowing. Knowing is measuring. And when you measure your progress, it is really worthwhile because that will motivate you once more to continue to self-discipline yourself. It is so important to track and measure your progress because working on having that self-control and developing self-discipline, it will encourage you to keep going and to really maybe even spend a few minutes a day putting down in a journal your progress. It really, really will help you. We already talked about a tip to develop your self-discipline, that it has to do with avoiding distractions. And I cannot stress enough on how distractions can get you into a modus of autopilot. You don't even realize that half an hour is gone when you are watching social media. So avoid distractions because that really is a huge one. And maybe a good one to develop your self-discipline even more is to reward yourself. Every win you have to celebrate. Keep track of every result and celebrate the wins as little as they are. If you have been able, for example, to implement one habit every day for 30 days, for example, eating one portion of vegetables more than before, or going to bed at a certain time like we discussed, it will give you something to celebrate. And we human beings, when we set goals and we celebrate our achievements, we will always be more motivated to set bigger goals and to reach for them and really daily input, daily practices, put that in our daily routines to get there. And of course, you need to practice prioritizing, even the small stuff. Whenever you have any sort of decision to make, ask yourself, is this going to move me forward to my goals, or is this going to take me further away from my goals? That's where self-discipline comes in. And it helps to ask you that question, because then you can focus on always making the decision that will bring you closer to your dreams, of course. And lastly, there are a few exercises for discipline, but those exercises have all to do with practice. Developing self-discipline is a practice. Really, everything you do in self-care, in self-love, needs to be a daily practice, whether it is exercises for discipline as meditation, whether it is self-regulation, self-awareness, whether it's self-care, really little routines in self-care like me time, like saying yes or no. All these things make a difference in the self-discipline. So I really, really want you to acknowledge yourself, to learn to get yourself, to learn to get to know yourself better. That is actually what I'm saying here. Getting to know your weaknesses, your strengths, becoming more aware, really become self-aware of how you are functioning, what is distracting you, what is your procrastination, in what field, all these things, prioritizing, all these things. It's all about a practice. And I think that's enough for this part. And I'm going to just now, after the little break, discuss to you what actually we can do, as self-discipline is a journey. And there's always a time to start. You can start today. And that is why I'm doing this show, to inspire you and motivate you to start building your self-discipline as a major key in your self-leadership, in owning your life, in owning yourself, in owning your future, in owning your best life. I will come back to you just now after this little break to finish off this amazing show on self-discipline.
UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good. UK Health Radio, the station that makes you feel good.
Yes, we are moving towards the end of this show, talking about self-discipline and the part of self-discipline. And before I give a little summary, I just want to mention that self-discipline to me is one of the key elements in going from stress to authentic success. In my book, Shifting Out of Chronic Stress, a 7-step journey to regain your balance and inner strength, I talk about discipline in the chapter habits, learning empowering habits and unlearning disempowering habits. And so one of the habits, one of the skills that we definitely need to develop and learn is the discipline, self-discipline. And I want you to remember that self-discipline is a journey. It is a journey, and there's always a time to start and to restart. Be kind to yourself as you work on cultivating this so important, amazing, basic, essential skill, and embrace the power of self-love and self-care in your life. Because the path to self-discipline is a part that is crucial for your personal growth. It is crucial for your long-term authentic success. And while of course, it can be challenging to maintain, understanding the reasons for your struggles, why you struggle, is an essential first step. As we talked about self-awareness, it's a really important step towards overcoming all the obstacles. And as you will progress on your journey, remember, we talked about the importance of self-care, self-love, and the personal growth that comes with it. Embracing the mindset, and it all goes about prioritizing long-term success over that short-term gratification that we talked about. I think that that is one of the main keys to unlocking your amazing potential, your full potential. So what is preventing you, let me say it like this, to start now, to start today? Let's make an agreement here, and you can set a small goal for yourself and take that first step towards mastering the art of self-discipline. It's, as I said, a path. It's a journey. The best way, and I love this, the best way to predict your future is to create it. So own your life, own your future. I've said it a few times in this show, but I think it is so important. If you embark on this journey, remember also to celebrate your own progress. Step by step, every time you choose long-term success over short-term pleasure, you are winning. You are building your self-discipline muscle and getting closer and closer to achieving your goals and your success. And I urge you to surround yourself with supportive individuals who share your aspirations and that can help you to keep yourself accountable. And in that way, if you need a coach or a mentor, don't hesitate. If you find yourself slipping into old habits, please don't be hard on yourself. Don't start judging yourself. Remember the self-love and the self-care. It is always a learning opportunity, and it is always a growth process. So with time, patience, and perseverance, you will find that the rewards of self-discipline far outweigh the temporary satisfaction of short-term pleasures. And we've mentioned that a few times in this show. Please cultivate self-discipline. It is about creating a life that aligns with your values and aspirations. And I, for one, I encourage my clients every single day. I help them. I support them. It's not about judgment. It's about growth. It's about opportunity. It's about consistent growth and moving forward, being more and more that authentic you, moving forward to the authentic success that you want. So by consistently choosing that long-term success over short-term gratification, you will become the person that you have always wanted to be. So I encourage you to take that first step and embark on this incredible journey towards self-discipline. It absolutely is a journey of personal growth and lasting success. And please, if you feel that you are not able to do this on your own, that you do not have the support around you, then please do not hesitate to contact me at Danielle@daniellesachs.com, and I will be happy to discuss your situation and totally give you the first step to really move forward and go into that journey of authentic success. It is my intention to help you shift from stress to authentic success. I wish it for you. I know you are worth it, and I will leave you for this week. Bye-bye for now.
From Stress to Authentic Success was presented by Danielle Sachs. Join Danielle at the same time next week here on UK Health Radio. And meanwhile, for more on how to thrive in business and everyday life by being true to yourself, go to daniellesachs.com.